Alright guys, hello, welcome to the video. We're going to be looking at one of my best games ever. Probably my best game by numbers, if I'm thinking about it correctly. I don't think I've ever had a 14K or more game. We're going to be on Malinovka, and this is just one of those 1 in 1,000 games where all I had to do was sit in a bush, and I pretty much got 7K spotting just from doing that. So with the Selma, we're going to be in the Selma. I actually 3 marked this vehicle. I'm going to consider this my 3 mark video that I'm bringing you guys because I went from like 91% up to like 94.5% just from this game alone. But this is going to count as my 3 mark video because you guys know, if you watch my channel, that I like to give you guys the very game where I don't mind me just spamming, the T key or whatever. But I like to give you guys the game where I actually get 3 mark. But this game was so spectacular. And again, by numbers, I believe the best game that I've ever played, like in my World of Tanks career, right? So I'm just going to make this the official video. Now, in the Selma, I was going to say this thing, okay? I talked about this in just my last video. You have to be so careful with this vehicle because it is so large. The concealment is actually not that bad given the tank's size, but you have to be very, very cautious with this vehicle. It is so huge that if you are going to passive scout with it, you need to find a spot like this that's easy to get to. And I like to remind you guys that if you are going to come out to this area, you have to come out like this. Okay, like literally, you want to be like coming like around like this. And the reason for that is because a lot of times what you'll have is the enemy light tank that's going to poke up in this bush. So you want to be at a good enough distance away from them where you're not going to get spotted. And also you might have someone poke in these bush lines here or whatever. I've done this to counter the enemy light tank. And so if you're doing that, if you're coming way out like this, then you're putting this bush line in between you and people that could be in this entire area. Really, someone shouldn't be like all the way out here yet. It's kind of just a timing thing. There is a little bit of a gap here and stuff like that. But you just kind of have to know. Like, you just have to know. Like, you have to basically envision where the enemies are going to be and put the bush line in between you and them so you can get out here unlit. Now, I come out here in the Selma because I don't think that making a play like over here is effective, right? The tank is too tall, it's too big, it's too fat. If you get spotted up here on this little hill over here, this is like what I'm talking about, D7-ish, like D7 area. If the other enemy light tank does this, you're probably going to be outplayed because you're so big, you're going to get whacked from people that are like up on the hill and stuff. And that's why I don't like making that play. Another play you could make, I sometimes like to go to this bush, but I just didn't really feel like that would be great either because still, again, I've been here in the Selma and you get whacked from people up here because the tank is so big. You just don't realize it sticks out everywhere. And it's pretty tall as well. And you just have to play this thing so carefully, man. So carefully. So I'm at 7K spotting visible, 8 spots. This never happens, guys. This, again, is 1 in 1,000. I'm changing my angle a little bit to try and spot this Hori. Random event is occurring here. Here comes the bomber. I'm at 8K now, right? Like, this never happens. Don't think you're going to come to this bush line. If this is the first video you're seeing of mine, or you're for some reason new to World of Tanks, even though this is quite an old game now, if you think you can just sit in a bush and do 8K every game, like, this never happens, man. This is just one of those games that I was so lucky. My team was good. My team was hitting all the shots, right? And everyone was just camping here from the enemy team. But I'm going to now advance, and the way I like to advance here, I have to be very, very careful. And the way I'm going to phrase this to you guys is, this is a risky play to advance every time here. I prefer to just run along this edge. This way, if you do get spotted, you can get down as quick as possible, right? But running this line, like, people can be sitting in these bushes. You'd like to think that with CVS, you can spot people enough to get an idea of like, all right, I think I can advance now. They're just over here, right? So like on the map, I'm seeing it's 7-1, right? Really, all we have left is the guys that are over here. And I think that I'm clear. We have a Yag Tiger that's unlit. We have a Sta 1 and we have an RHM that are all unlit. But I'm thinking at this point, if I didn't light them at this point, I'm probably safe to get up here. So that's why I made this decision. And it's very important for me to pause and explain this to you guys because a lot of people might jump the gun here and, they might try and make this play too soon, and then you're going to get wrecked, right? Because people are just sitting there in the bush lines and they're waiting for someone to shoot at, basically. So that's why I made this decision. Yes, it's a little risky. Again, we have three people that are still unlit on the map, but I'm thinking these guys are in the back at this point. If I haven't spotted them yet, I've given multiple angles for my team. And I have to advance here. Like at this point, it's 7-1. We're up by so much HP, and I decide to advance. So here we go. I'm going to approach the bush line like this. I'm hoping no one's like sitting over here, which it's very, like I would have spotted them, right? So this is just things you have to start narrowing down. And then I'm going to come to the edge of the bushes here, right? And from here, I can spot the RHM and the Hori that are trying to run away. And now we have an idea of where the RHM was. Luckily, he wasn't just sitting here and we didn't spot him, right? But you never know. Yag Tiger's sitting here, like we didn't light him. The game mechanics can be tricky sometimes, right? Like even with CVS, we might not have spotted these people if they weren't really moving behind the bush line much or whatever, just the angle was weird or whatever, or they had enough concealment where I couldn't light them. But again, everything is just working out so perfectly in this game. So perfectly in this game, guys. I can't emphasize that enough. I'm going to push up here, use this building to kind of block line of sight for the enemy team, go to this bush line and kind of double check to see if I'm lit, and I'm not. I'm going to put a clip into the car in here. I'm kind of taking a risk at this point to start getting a little bit of damage because I'm realizing how freaking amazing this game is, and I want to keep adding to my score. By the way, I didn't open the end plates, but I'm going to take a moment and open them for you guys. You can just skip ahead as I open them. But again, we're almost at 12k, guys. I got a little bit of damage, 10 spots, and now I'm just going in for it. At this point, there's no reason to be safe about this. I want to spot people as quickly as possible so that I can get as much spotting as possible, right? I don't want like the Super Conqueror or the 121B spotting anyone here. We get the Hori spotted, we get the Boar spotted. We're going after the Sta here. I'm assuming that the Hori is going to clean me up there, but luckily people are able to kill him before he's able to get a shot in me. I'm still, my voice, guys, I'm sorry for being sick. It's still a little like iffy. Good game, well played, Selma, and yeah, I think so, my man. 13,370 spotting guys visible and 627 damage. And again, we're just counting this as the third mark game for the Selma because this brought me from 91%, like I went up like 3%, right, to like 94 something percent. And I was telling you guys, and I'll show you in the end plates, that this vehicle, man, it is so easy to mark this vehicle. So let me just pull these end plates up for you guys. I think it's these three, the last three that I had in here. And I'll show you guys the end plates. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. This is what the mark was at for 95%. If you wanted to 3-mark this vehicle, this is what you had to get on this tank to 3-mark it at the time that I 3-marked this, right? So you can see how I was at 94.93% actually after everything was counted. So my next game, I got the 3-mark. And you guys know how it works. It's a moving average. So like, I didn't even have to perform that well in that game. I did like freaking 14K in this game or something. So now the moving average has gone up so much that, you know, you don't have to even perform that well in the next game. I was able to get it in the next game, or at the very least, it was like the game after that. But you guys know what I'm at 94.93%. So I played the tank that day and I got it. And the 3-mark game was just not nearly as exciting as this one. So that's why I'm using this one, and I really wanted to show you guys this one. But yeah, I think this is a record for me, guys. 13K spotting mastery. We got our couple of badges here. And yeah, this was a phenomenal game. And I basically, so we'll say 115, 116 battles is when I 3-marked this thing. I 3-marked it with a 53% win rate and 1,455 average damage. My damage fluctuated quite a bit in this vehicle. It was over 1,500 at one point, and then it was like almost down to like 1,300. And I think this is pretty fair, this number. And my win rate was pretty low in it as well. That and the Blesk. Like, I, again, almost 3-marked the Blesk with like a 46% win rate. So, yeah, these tanks are just tricky, man. I think it's just because people try to YOLO with these tanks too much. Like, they're trying to use the machine gun, and, you know, it's like, you can't play the tank like that, man. You got to be very, very careful, especially with the Selma, because the Selma is literally a pancake, dude. It is gigantic, guys. Like, when you play the Selma, go put yourself up next to like a Tiger 1 or something, and you will realize how big the tank is and why you can't play it like you can play the G-Sword or the AMX 1390, right? So that's it, guys. Here's the team score. You can see me up top here. I sure hope so. The Super Conqueror had a phenomenal game, but with this amount of spotting, and assistance, like this might be the most base XP that I think I've ever acquired, actually, almost 1600. So this really is, guys, like in the years and years that I've played World of Tanks, probably my best game by numbers I've ever had. And it's incredible that I got it in the Selma of all tanks. 13,655 damage caused with my assistance, guys. And this is all spotting. I don't think we had any track assistance, unless I'm mistaken and I missed something there. All spotting, 13.6k, guys. And we got 627 damage out of those 2 bursts that I had. So we did over 14k combined in this game. And I thought it was a phenomenal game. And I'm so happy to share it with you guys. And I hope you enjoyed. And that's all. I will see you for the next one. By the way, if you ever have any questions, guys, about light tanks, always leave them in the comment section below. And I will get back to you. Catch you for the next one. Take care until then. Bye-bye.